All right, cool. Okay, good. Sorry. So anyway, yeah, so with being consultants, yes, we are ambassadors for Wine Shop at Home, which is awesome. And I'm so proud of the winery that we work for and, and all the different things that they give us and the wine that we put out is awesome. But people love working with us, right? Like people have fun with us. So that is why I look at it like we are the brand. As opposed to, again, I'll use Starbucks as an example. If you go to Starbucks and if you fly in there, and you're on your way to pick up a latte or something, you don't think of the CEO when you think of Starbucks. Odds are you don't even remember your barista's face when you leave Starbucks, right? But when people think of Wine Shop at Home, after they've been with you for a couple tastings, you are the brand. So this is why it's really important to really illustrate who we are and what we do and our why whenever we incorporate our branding on anything that we might put like a logo on of sorts like that. When people see our logo or when people see the name of our company, we are who they think of, not necessarily Wine Shop at Home. It's our reputation. And with the idea is that with instituting consistent branding, so even if you just use your same business name over and over again on all of your marketing materials, then because it's our reputation, we can control how people see us, right? We can control and ensure that they have a positive and accurate representation of us. So anyway, overall branding is more than a logo. It's how people experience you and how they're used to you fitting into their life. Why is branding important? On the surface, it's important because it looks good, right? Let's be real. It looks professional. It's creative. It's interesting, but it's really so much more than that. What I've learned over the course of having both of my businesses is that people do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? That's really one of the most important things. And so with the idea of having a look and feel, right, that you want to put on your marketing materials and stuff, that promotes an air of professionalism and it creates, even more importantly, the fact that they know you. When they're seeing the exact same message that you promote on different things, whether it's social media or whether it's flyers that you pass out at tastings or whether it's, I don't know, when they see you at a vendor event, if it's the same thing that they're seeing every time, you're building consistency. You're subconsciously building that level of trust with them and they feel like they know you. So a big part about branding that I like to think is that branding is really a very subconscious kind of thing. People feel like they can trust you and they can understand who you are and what you do and what you stand for. What we all talk about, our why, when they see that same messaging over and over again. And so another important way to kind of think about this is, if you think about it, when people experience you, so say you're at a tasting and people are there, hopefully they have a really positive memory to tie that, right? So whenever they think of you, whenever they're like, oh, Sandy Irving, oh my God, she was so much fun, right? There's that positive affiliation. So when they have a visual cue that they align with you, right? So Sandy, say that you were for Charleston, wine tastings, if you have like a little logo that goes with that, eventually after enough time, when they see just your logo, they're going to think of those really positive memories with you, right? So that's kind of where the importance of it comes along. All right. That being said, if people don't have the most positive experience with you, branding can kind of go either way. But, the idea here is that we have a really good time with our customers and we have a lot of fun with them. So we try to make sure that we're just perpetuating that really good feeling. All right, so that's kind of, the basics and like what branding is, why we do it, why it's important. But how do you brand yourself, right? Like, yeah, I'm a graphic designer, so it kind of came a little bit more naturally to me. But I was talking to someone else on our team, Hershey, earlier today, and she recently branded herself, and she's a brand new consultant, and she has something really cute. It's Sip in the South, and just wine tastings with Hershey, and it's an adorable little logo. I recommend everyone go check it out on Facebook. But basically, right, the idea here is, let's go through the steps of how you can brand yourself, because it can be very simple. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to pick a name for your business. And a lot of us have done this already, but a lot of us haven't, right? Like, independent consultant with Wine Shop at Home is really our position. It's what we are. But if you want to pick like a cute little name, excuse me, I think my dog might be jumping into the, okay, no, she's good. She's really loud and I can't control her when she barks. So anyway, so you want to pick a name and you want to put it on everything, right? So that can either mean that you type your name on everything in like a Microsoft Word document. That is perfectly fine. Or you can actually get a logo. So when you start by picking your name to your consulting business, for example, I chose Winerella. You want to try to pick something that's unique and maybe something that's memorable, right? So something that's kind of fun. Like I said, Hershey went Sip in the South. Chris, my sponsor, he does the Maine wine guy. So you can kind of pick things that are just, you know, kind of short, kind of simple, kind of memorable, and like alliteration is kind of fun. Like, for example, if we had a consultant on our team who lived in Wisconsin, I feel like the Wine Girl of Wisconsin could be like a cute little name for her, right? It doesn't need to be like the most original thing in the world, but just has a nice ring to it. So things like that, you want to pick something that's unique and memorable. And it doesn't need to be super memorable. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not everyone calls me Winerella. Like, they might just remember me as like that wine chick they met. But
they do.
What?
I said, yes, they do. They all call you that. Even at convention, they call you that.
Okay, so sometimes they do. But part of that is something I was going to get to later is that I call myself Winerella. I literally sit at my I go to my wine tastings and I say, you know, in the beginning, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the wine girl. I'm the one you want to be friends with tonight. Ha ha ha. But then, you know, in my presentation, you know, I say that I'm a professional wine consumer. Ha ha ha. You know, my name is Christina Benedetti, but I call myself Winerella. And I let it sit and like everybody giggles, you know, and that's just what it's supposed to do, right? So since I call myself that, people kind of like, you know, they tend to respond to it a little better now. It takes some time. But anyway, so just something simple.
Christina,
yes.
Will you tell everybody how many tastings you have on your calendar just so they know how this works?
I have 24 bookings on my calendar through. I want to point out, I don't necessarily attribute that to the name of Winerella, but I mean, it could be, like, I could be that special. But I think the branding doesn't hurt, right? I don't think that branding is the reason. But, okay. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of a calendar coming up. So, all right. So the other thing with picking a name is that you want to have a word that relates to what you sell, right? So in our case, wine, sipping, pouring. For example, I don't know who here knows Stacy Blacker, but she calls herself the Pour Wine Girl, P-O-U-R, and it's adorable. It's just like a really cute logo she came up with. We met at convention last year, and she's a riot. Anyway, so however, right, we're not all in this mindset. I'm sure a couple of us are still like, okay, but what is it though? Like, how do you do branding? Like, I see what you're saying. You pick a name, you put it on stuff. Let's take a step back and look at a brand that we know and that we're familiar with, right? WineShop at Home, okay? WineShop at Home brands themselves on everything that we do, okay? So WineShop at Home, they put their logo on every single business card in that template that we can order from. They put their logo on our aprons. They put their logo on our interest forms. They put their logo on those order boards. Literally anything that can be stamped with a logo, WineShop at Home has theirs on, which is smart, right? Because it's just repetitive. It's just so, you know, it's just so people build that visual relationship with the company. And so that's really kind of the goal here, like the idea of us being able to see, okay, all right, okay, so WineShop at Home, they also put their logo on all those graphics that go out in the VIN note, right? Or all the graphics that go out like on Facebook that get like auto-posted. Their logo is on everything. So, you know, while we can absolutely just use their logo on everything, which is great. I do it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, you know, if you kind of want to go that little bit of the extra mile of like just reinforcing who you are so that people tie their memory of this whole awesome wine tasting experience to you and not to that company who's just giving us wine and like giving us all these really awesome tools, but you want them to tie it to you, that's kind of the thought process behind using our logo in conjunction with WineShop at Home. To really build like a bigger brand for us. And because we're consultants for a really awesome company like WineShop at Home, we can use their logo to boost our credibility, right? And that's even part of the bigger thing here, especially in an area like South Carolina where it's so many people are familiar with the business. Up here, nobody has heard of WineShop at Home before. It's, you know, it's just something I'm trying to work with. But, you know, I think in a place where the winery is better known, I think it would even bring more value to be able to put your own logo with WineShop's logo. So different ways that we could kind of do the same thing that WineShop does. Maybe we would use our logo on business cards. Maybe we could use them on any flyers we want to print up, or if we do sign-up sheets, if we pass anything around at wine tastings, you know, those sorts of things. And we want to make sure we just use, like, you know, same colors every time. Also, we could use our logo on social media posts. Basically, just instead of, again, labeling ourselves as independent consultant, we can kind of put our little stamp on there. Yeah, so kind of like co-branding with us and WineShop at Home. All right. So, are there any questions right now? I'm kind of going to go into another next step of it, but I know I'm kind of rushing through this, and I'd love to know if maybe I wasn't super elaborate on a couple things.
Anybody have any questions?
Do you have to get it approved?
Whatever you just talk to me.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I saw the Sippin', what was the girl, the Sippin' South?
Yeah.
She inspired me. I've actually I was so excited about this meeting because I had already decided after the last meeting that I wanted to rebrand myself, something that I felt comfortable about. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with rescue and animals, so I've just come up with a whole new name, which is going to be Wine and Rescue. Because those are the two big passions in my life, and I got a cute little logo that I'm going to share with you. So this is like all perfect time.
Okay, so wine and rescue?
It'll be wine and then a little ampersand.
I got wine to the rescue.
That's what I was thinking. That's what it's going to be. I had a little ampersand that turned into, this is what it was like.
Uh-oh, did we lose her?
Can you still hear us?
I'm here. I'm listening to you. This is awesome.
See this? But that's, so the little ampersand has become like a dog.
Oh my goodness.
I like it.
So I think I'm going to feel more comfortable going out promoting myself.
Can you see?
I cannot. Oh wait, I see the wine in the sand. And
Remember, we live on the beach.
Hey, I'll take a picture and I'll text it to
oh
you.
yeah, text me a photo of it. Yeah. That's the way to do this. Okay, but it sounds super cute. You know exactly. And this, what's your name?
My name's Sue.
Hi, Sue. So yeah, Sue, you have totally the right train of thought here, right? Like, this is just for us to have fun with, and like, because that, right? Do you notice I'm sure everybody else here noticed when Sue was talking about that, she was saying, oh yeah, you know, like, this is fun. Oh, but I want to rebrand myself. You heard how excited she got when when you tied in rescue with wine, right? Like, the fact that you can find a way, because this is not, it's not so much about, like, yes, you do want it to be memorable. Yes, you want it to be unique. Like, those things are true, like, from a smart marketing perspective. But the other thing is that you want it to be something that you're passionate about, like something that you get excited to talk about and that you naturally smile when you say it. I am obsessed with the word winerella. I thought that was the most clever thing ever when I came up with it, you know, like, and I like, Googled it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. Like, you know, I mean, but do most people really care that it's winerella? No, but I like it. And so that's what's important for us as consultants, I think, to really be able to boost our passion, like, when we talk about it, you know, because everybody feels that when we feel it. So that's great. So actually, I am going to, even if there were other questions, let's hold off to move on, because that is a nice lead in to what else I wanted to share about the fact there are different ways that you can brand yourself, right? So for example, like, you've already come up with this really awesome look and feel, Sue, and so did Hershey, like, you know, with her cute little S swirly things. If you haven't seen it, again, you should check it out. Me with a little wine bottle on the side, I type winerella in there. There are different ways you can do it. So there are two ways. The first way is a little bit more simple, and it's definitely acceptable. You can find a name and make sure you just type it on everything, right? So that means, like, you can literally, you know, let's say that, I don't know, let's say I went with winerella, but I didn't actually pick a look and feel. Say I didn't put a little logo mark with it, right? It was just like, oh, I want to call myself that. So in which case, I would have just, in Microsoft Word, just typed up the word winerella, find a font that I like, right? Just something kind of fancy, something kind of cute, whatever, that I feel like matches it. And I would just recommend that you type it in that same font on anything you use, right? So whether it's handouts, whether it's sign-up sheets when at tastings, or, you know, if you're trying to do like cute little flyers or something, or if you're at a vendor event and if you want to offer, you know, like VIP signups for tastings, and or a raffle entry form for a gift basket or something like that. You want to put your name on everything, right? That's the really good start to it. All right. And then the other way, which I recommend going if you can, because there are resources out there, is actually having someone create a logo for your company. And so by this, I do not mean spend $1,200 on a logo, right? No, that's ridiculous. I mean, if those of us have, the funds available, to each their own, more power to you. But let's be realistic here. I just mean invest in something that you'll feel strong putting yourself behind, right? So there are plenty of websites out there. I'll even list off, it's not my favorite, but it's really good for people who are in a little bit of a tighter budget, who don't really have, $50 to spend, $75 to spend. There's a website called Fiverr, Fiverr, so the number 5 with 2 R's.com. You can go to that website and people will literally do anything for $5. So in that category comes like create a logo. I've had in my graphic design business, I've had a couple people who've come to me with kind of issues that have happened in the situation. But that being said, for $5 for a logo, I mean, it's a pretty decent deal. However, Rebecca and I were talking about this earlier, and I'm really excited. I want to offer a special with my design business to you guys. So for all wine consultants, I am offering what I want to call a sip and starter logo package. So it's $75, and what it includes is it's going to be a half-hour one-on-one Skype call, Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, to discuss your branding needs, what it is that you feel is unique in particular and things that you want, or if you just want to hear suggestions. It'll also include a simple logo. I'll describe that in a minute. It'll also include a designated color palette, so you'll have a nice look and feel across everything. It'll include a business card design, so you will need to have those printed separately, but I'll design a business card for you so it matches your branding and it matches your logo. I'll have your logo on it. And we'll have a little how-to guide. We can do a little how-to session just so you kind of remember how it is that you can use these final files and stuff. So how you can use your logo, how you can put it on print things. I'll show you how to use it in Microsoft Word. I'll show you how to use it on Facebook and stuff too. And then I'm also, of course, if you want more control than the simple basic design concept here of this package, we could definitely talk further about a customized logo design package itself. But this is really kind of just enough to help you feel like you're getting off on the right foot with something, with just something that you can feel confident to stand behind. So for the logo itself, I kind of plan on having a list of about 10 to 15 fonts that you'll be able to pick a font from. And I'll have a couple different generic wine graphics that you'll be able to pick one from. And then we're just going to merge them together. But really, we're going to kind of turn them into your stamp that you can place on anything. So that's kind of the way that I kind of would like to have this work out. If anyone's interested, again, Fiverr is another resource. I do think I think we could have a lot of fun with this. I think, me being as excited and talking with you and seeing how excited you can be, I think we could really come up with some nice stuff for it here. But that is... Ooh. What?
Becca, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
Please. Okay, so if anybody has seen the picture that we entered in the contest for convention last year, I have it here. I'm going to post it on the Noble Lot right now. She did that picture. She staged us all in a hotel room certain ways, put us all in the picture, blew us up with a big bottle of one of my absolute favorite wines, and did this picture for convention, the Crush It Wine Shop at home for last year. She did all of this, and I'm going to say probably after a lot of wine, because I remember that night, and it was ready the next morning.
We were drinking.
Yeah, so if you don't take her up on her talent, you are missing out. I can tell you right now, the most talented person I've ever met.
So besides that, Christina, if people like Sue, for example, who have already really designed her logo, just want, and there may be other people in the room, want a 30-minute, 45-minute session just to get some branding ideas and tips beyond what you've shared here, Can you do that for a fee? I know that this is your job. That's your job. So nobody would ask you to do it for free, but could you do that for a lesser fee for people who are a little bit tighter on their budget?
Absolutely. And you know what, though? I would almost go so far as say that I would be happy to sit down. Again, I know that we're really long distance, so Skype, whatever, I think could work really well. I think face-to-face is kind of important. But I would even be confident in just doing a consultation, like, 15, 20 minute, maybe half-hour long consultation or whatever, like complimentary, if you guys have something that you have somehow already created. That being said, so it's what I would love, it would be ideal if I could offer, say, oh, if you already have a design, I'll just like make it into a graphic, for like a set fee. That's a little bit harder just because depending on what's entailed in each of the graphics and everything. But I mean, we could talk about that too. Or if you just want to chat and say, hey, I got my logo. What do you think I should do with this? These are my ideas. You'll probably give me new ideas, which is great. I mean, none of us know everything, right? How much do we learn at every wine tasting we give? So, I mean, I would be happy to do that for complimentary. And also, the other thing I wanted to point out too, when I was talking to Hershey, she created hers in Microsoft Publisher. Like, she did it herself. And I know that her profession, she's a police officer, so she's not like in the creative profession, so to speak. So, right? I mean, outside of her wine business. So I think she might be like a valuable resource to talk to for how she built it in Microsoft Publisher. I'm not familiar with the program, but I mean, if you can find it, say your BFF is a graphic designer and like they can do it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like if you find a nice, easy way to do this, go for it. I just wanted to offer that as an option because BenedettiDesignCompany.com is my website if you guys want to check it out. But I think that this is a lot of value that I can help with, but I understand that that's not in everyone's, not everybody has the budget for that and whatever. So if you just want to talk about ideas, I'm happy to. You get a friend to do it. You get Fiverr to do it and you want to talk about ideas, I'm good with that too. So I think we're all here to help each other.
Thank you, Christina. Does there, I hope I'm not cutting you off or anything, but do you mind if I open it up for questions?
I don't, can I give one last point? I just wanted to make sure I mentioned.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think the most important thing about branding, logo or no logo, is that you need to be your brand. Like you need to live it. Like that's so important. And people need to feel it when they're experiencing what it is you offer. So just as long as you keep that in mind, that your reputation, your brand's reputation is what is, I don't want to say at stake, that's such a negative term, but it's really the emphasis behind, it's another driving factor in why people should really love everything they experience with you, because they want to have the best experience and you want them to have the best experience they can to remember you and to want to talk about you and have all their friends over with you at their house. So
I love it. Questions for Christina?
Question about business cards. Almost feel like too much is ending up on a business card. You've got your wine shop, you've got your email, you've got your Facebook, you've got your phone number. I mean, do you recommend putting everything on there, or? I mean, I don't know how I feel about my phone number being out there to everybody.
We have to have your phone number.
Question. Okay, so here's what I would think. Definitely your logo. Definitely what it is that you do. Right? So even if it's just private in-home wine tastings, whatever, something concise like that, definitely your phone number. I will tell you, my first round of business cards, I didn't put an email address on it because I was like, who's going to email me like I'm their wine consultant? I literally intentionally did not. And so many people, when I hand out my business card, are like, oh, can I just email you? Oh, what's your email? So the second time around, I've included my email address. Oh my God, pause, holy cow. With the name of your business, use it for your Facebook handle, use it for your Instagram handle, use it for your website. Go to GoDaddy.com, buy, winetastingsofthe.south.com, and then ask GoDaddy how to redirect that to your Wine Shop at Home website. They'll walk you through it. It's so simple. But these are, again, just ways that you can further implement, use that name everywhere. So it's not wineshopathome.com/Christina Benedetti. It's winearellamaine.com and it forwards to that site. So just wanted to point that out. Same thing with your email address. So
I can tell you that. Yeah.
Christina, I have a question for you. Are you familiar with the Google phone thing? I was just thinking about it because you're not comfortable putting your phone number on it.
Oh, the Google phone?
So I am less familiar with that. I have heard really good things about Google Phone, like really good things. Like someone told me they thought, and before I changed my phone number, I should have just used Google Phone. I wanted to change my phone number anyway, so it was a little bit irrelevant. But, you know, a big part of the reason was, I don't know, up here in Maine, a lot of people here don't trust out-of-state phone numbers. And I moved here a couple years ago, and my calls would get screened all the time. So now I have a Maine phone number. But anyway, so anyway, I'm sorry to get off track. Google Phone, I'm not very familiar with it, but I've heard really awesome things about it.
So Google Phone, I'll just give you a couple of things. I used Google Phone when I was gone for 5 months out of the country, and you don't pay any voicemail fees. You don't pay any fees because they forward it and it comes through your Google account. So it's good for saving money. And also they'll forward it, and you get, if you have a smartphone, obviously, and if it just comes right, you just, all your voicemails come up.
And they give you a different number so you don't have to
Yeah,
go with your personal number, right?
Right, they do.
And
So-
that's why I looked into it, because I have a North Carolina number, and nobody, again, they scream
Right.
calls like a big dog when you start calling from out.
And the New Hampshire number doesn't get
Yeah.
you a whole lot of
I think the redirect to the website is key because
Yeah.
it is the whole like WineShop/Sulam, but I was
Right.
gonna ask how to do that. So
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's very simple.
Okay.
So, Christina, before we let you go, can you tell us a little bit about why you went to convention last year and why you're going again?
Besides to drink with me.
Yeah, right. Okay, because I'm going to rewind for a hot second. I'm sorry, because Sue, I don't feel like I fully ended up answering your question. Use both sides of your business card. One side of your business card has your name. One side, that same side has name, title, company. Maybe you have your own personal logo in addition to, like, you might throw a little wine shop logo on there, and maybe your phone number, maybe an email address with that. The other side has your website and any social media handles you want to put on, whatever. I'm just saying, use both sides of your business card because you have that real estate available. So if you feel like you have too much info. And photos on business cards, I feel like that's getting a little bit dated, but I know everyone's getting headshots done. I feel like a professional headshot could look nice. But if you feel like it's getting to take up a lot of space, I would be selective.
But probably mandatory for social media, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So you were talking about convention, Sandy.
I want to know, you made an investment after being in the company for only 6 months to go to convention. And we all know it's an investment of time and money. And then you left convention. I want to know if you felt like it was worth it to you and why you're going back.
Okay, so I had joined the business in January. It was basically twiddling my thumbs until March. Did like maybe one wine tasting. Wasn't really sold on the business. Then realized, what am I doing? Picked up in like March and April. Finally started doing like 3 or 4 wine tastings each month, and started like falling in love with doing wine tastings. And so, Sandy, I think that's when you and I got a little bit more serious.
That's when I called you.
Huh.
Maybe that's when that happened. So, but yeah, so basically I decided to go through with it, because I realized that I loved giving wine tastings. I felt like I knew nothing about it. There's not a large wine consultant presence up here. There's maybe 4 of us, maybe 5 if they're still active. And we're all spread at least an hour and a half from each other. So I really wanted to see what that would be all about. And I decided to take the risk on the investment. I could make it happen, so I did. And I decided to go for it. I actually talked about it with my boyfriend, and he said, you know what, you'll regret not trying this if you decide not to, and if you decide to leave the business. Like, you will regret having not at least seen what could have happened and what that kind of training is like. And I said, you're right. So I went forward with it. And oh my God, can I just say, being in a building with 300 other wine consultants is the most amazing feeling in the world. Like, it was just so, I've never felt so surrounded by like everyone who loves doing what we do. And that was just like like I didn't realize how awesome that would feel. Like I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. You know, I'm really, really excited for convention this year. That being said, not only did I also make some really awesome wine friends that I feel are more like wine family. You know, Sandy, I feel like you and I got a lot closer. Becca, you and I became like sisters, you know, and that was so amazing. Getting to hang out with Frank and Elaine and, you know, Veronica, just everyone. And so from there, however, those training sessions, that convention is the reason that I book at tastings now. That convention, what I took from there is the reason that every single wine tasting, I book a minimum of 2 to 3 tastings. I'll say a minimum of 1, right? Like, but like, that's why I have 24 bookings in my lineup because of Marlene's talk and something she said just struck with me, and it's a tactic I've been using since, and that one tactic alone made it financially worth it, and I will absolutely be going back. So, you know, it was really cool to be around everyone. It was really awesome to feel the wine shop feeling, like what everyone talks about, especially, again, like having been up here where I kind of feel like I'm a little bit of a lone wolf sometimes. It was really amazing to get to feel like the wine shop family. Yeah, and then it absolutely impacted my business. So, and like sales and everything. And, you know, I really found a lot of really great connections of people that I can reach out to for help, which has been super helpful too. So, and I'm definitely going back. You know, I can afford it a little bit easier than I could last year. So, you know.
So we'll see you there.
Awesome. I'll see you there, guys. Thank you so much.
So you and Becca are rooming together, right?
That's right. I stole her from you.
Yeah.
No, she kicked me out.
You guys party too
She
hard.
said us young people have to leave her room.
You guys party too hard for me. So
I learned what Uber was last time.
It's Vegas. What do you expect? God.
Well, I learned Uber. I've never done that. Anything else for Christina? Are you gonna hang out or you gonna leave?
I have until about 3:30, so I can just hang out until then.
Okay. All
And
right,
I'll
I'll
just,
leave
like,
you on.
Yeah, I'll just like turn off when I gotta go. But yeah.
We go into a breakout session in like 10-15 minutes, so you want me to just turn you off on that?
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna do
Thanks,
those.
guys. I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry. I wanted to just say a couple of things. I've turned this meeting over to Becca today, but I wanted to say, okay. I just wanted to say a couple of things. The first one is we're a little disorganized.